very much. There are three principal aspects before rollout of vaccine for public use. One is safety, and that's first tested in animal trials. Second is safety in human, and then immunogenicity in human. Does the vaccine candidate elicit an immune response? So that's first, the human trial involves checking both safety and immunogenicity. After you know that the candidate elicits an immune response, you then go to trials where the vaccinated person is exposed to the disease in the field, as it were, so that you check whether the efficacy of the vaccine is there or not. And that's combined with an effectiveness on the vaccine in a large population. So these are the multiple steps. Typically, they take about 10 to 15 years, cost a few $100 million. The world is now compressing that to 1 year at the cost of a few $1 billion. This is done by parallel processing, by stockpiling and manufacturing in a manner even before you know whether the vaccine is effective or not. That's huge risk. Combining different stages of a trial without compromising ethics and safety. So these are enormous, intense efforts which are very expensive, require talented people, extraordinary infrastructure, and scientific capability. And we must be proud that our scientific community and our industry have risen to take on these kinds of challenges as distinct from only manufacturing, which they're also world leaders in.
It is a matter indeed of pride and also excitement as the human trials begin and we wait to see the results. Dr. Guleria, two important set of data. One, the number of people who are tested positive every day. We're seeing that increase on a daily basis. At the same time, on the optimistic side, the recovery rate has been significant. It has been increasing too. How does a layperson interpret these two data together? New cases coming in every day, yet the recovery rate is at a significantly high position.
So I think it's good that we are doing more testing. We need to do much more testing, and that is going up every day. Starting from a time when we were doing only about 10,000 tests a day, we are now doing more than 3.5 lakh tests a day. And that is being ramped up to onward and to reach a capacity of more than 10 million tests a day. If you do more tests, you will detect more cases, but that is good because that helps you in isolating them, doing contact tracing, and thereby being able to prevent the spread of the virus. So I think testing is something which is paramount. And with that flows a lot of strategies in terms of preventing the spread of the virus as far as the testing is concerned. The good part is that as we test, we also realize that this disease is not as severe as we thought about it in the beginning. The requirement of ventilatory support is not as high as was actually anticipated. When there were initial meetings in the month of February, March, it was felt that we would have around 20% of patients requiring oxygen therapy and more than 5% may require ventilators. But that is not true. We found that as our treatment strategy has evolved, as we become more aggressive in treatment, and the number of patients have increased, the milder cases are much more than what we had thought of in the beginning.
And Dr. Guleria, just to understand, while the vaccine development is still in process, when we look at the higher rate of recovery, does it also imply that the symptom treatment that is taking place in hospitals, symptoms are being treated, that is happening in a better manner? Does that also reflect in the manner in which the recovery rate is increasing?
Correct. So that is, like you said, if you look at the data from the Western world and you look at it in terms of mortality per million, our mortality is much lower. One of the reasons for that, there are multiple reasons that one can debate, but one of the reasons is that because of the lockdown, we had time to prepare and we also understood the virus better. So treatment strategies have evolved over the last few months. In the beginning, we did not know how much of its systemic effect the virus was causing. It was causing what we call hypercoagulable state. There was clotting happening in various parts of the body, in various organs. There was also what we call cytokine storm, a huge inflammatory response which was happening. Now we are treating it more aggressively. We're giving steroids, we're giving anticoagulants, and that is helping in terms of saving lives and people with mild disease or moderate disease not going into the severe category. So both in terms of treatment We are actually changing our policy. And if you look at the guidelines, they keep changing on a regular basis based on the knowledge that comes in from various trials being done globally. And I think that has made a big difference. But also,
Right.
we have built up the capacity both in terms of COVID care centers, COVID hospitals, COVID ICU. We realized very early that we needed to have a lot of oxygen beds, and therefore, even at a district level, ramping up was done so that oxygen beds are available, and that has helped to provide oxygen to those people who need just oxygen and supportive treatment. So overall, the strategy has helped in decreasing mortality. And as we learn more and more about the virus, we will have a better treatment strategy. And ultimately, when we have the vaccine, that will actually become a big game changer in terms of also providing protection. So good treatment and protection to the vulnerable population going
Right.
hand in hand will really be a big step in actually conquering COVID-19.
Right. Professor Raghavan, testing, tracking, and isolation was the kind of strategy that the government had been stressing on rigorously. We also looked at some figures how in January we had perhaps one testing lab, and that has increased to 1,200 now in the country. As far as infrastructure is concerned, how have we been able to keep pace with the need of the hour?
Well, first of all, what has happened is that our scientific community, our academic research labs, our research institutions, and our industry have come together in getting over the supply chain issues with reagents and testing kits by both getting them indigenously and making indigenous kits on scale. There have also been new kinds of kits which have come up from the CSIR, from the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, from our startup ecosystem, and these also reduce cost and scale. There are yet newer technologies coming which will even further allow the ease of testing to large scale at lower and lower costs. So
Right.
in sum, testing is going to become something which, while we absolutely need testing, tracking, and tracing, it's going to become feasible. Now about,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, Professor Raghavan, I'm just curious, because it's a global pandemic, every country is suffering, there's a race for vaccine development. India has also made initial progress. Is there some sort of intelligence sharing among countries so that the learnings in one country can be applied to other places instead of everyone trying to invent the wheel by themselves? Is there also some sort of intelligence sharing on this matter?
Absolutely. While this is an extraordinary example at the ground level in terms of testing and therapeutics, for example, there is a lot of sharing of information in the open space, while people also, of course, in companies try to get their products going. In terms of vaccines, they fall into broadly different kinds of categories: DNA vaccines, viral vaccines, RNA vaccines, and so on and so forth. But the technologies for these, the standards, what needs to be done, are also relatively openly shared. So people know what the different kinds of approaches are. So that's a very, very welcome trend. And of course, all of us know that no matter who makes the vaccine, it will be manufactured, stockpiled, and used in a globally prioritized manner so that national and global interests are both taken care of. And there, India will actually play a very important role given our huge manufacturing capabilities.
Right. We'll talk about the pharmaceutical infrastructure that could, in fact, be a game changer. Dr. Guleria, one particular aspect that really complicates the COVID-19 situation in India in particular, because 80%, as we understand, of the patients have been asymptomatic, who've been tested positive. Now, asymptomatic, as we understand, are people who do not show any symptoms of COVID-19. On the outset, unless you do a test, one can't figure out if the person has COVID-19. So in that case, what is the way forward? You did mention that faster testing, more testing is the way forward. Is that the way we'll be able to track asymptomatic people around us?
So the first thing is, I don't think if we have a clear number as to how many people are asymptomatic. We have what is known as asymptomatic, then we have a term known as pre-symptomatic. If you look at the global literature, it could vary from something like 15 to almost 30 to 40% of people who may be asymptomatic. Another 40% actually may be pre-symptomatic, that is, they're asymptomatic now, but 2 or 3 days later, they will develop symptoms. But even in the pre-symptomatic phase, that is the 3 days before they develop symptoms, they are infectious and can spread the infection. And that is why the whole issue of testing and tracking becomes very important. So if you have an individual who is positive, it's very important to do contact tracing, find out all of them whom that he's come in contact with, and that's the close contacts, and that is not only at home, but in the place of work and other places. And then they need to be evaluated, they need to be tested, and then if any of them comes out to be positive, he may be asymptomatic at that point in time. He needs to be isolated so that the chain of transmission can be spread. So when we talk of testing, we're talking of testing a large number of people who are close contact of a positive patient, but at that given point in time are either asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic, and therefore are spreading the disease in the community.
And Dr. Guleria, we're looking at a critical phase. As we speak, we know a flood situation prevails in some states, in Bihar, Assam, for instance. Monsoon is here, that is also seen as a harbinger of diseases often. So at this particular spell of time, does our guards need to be up? We need to be more careful, the administration who are particularly providing shelter and help in the flood affected areas?
Yes, we need to be very careful. We had this issue even when we had the cyclone
Yes.
A few weeks ago. And I think the challenges here are two. One is, of course, that whenever you have such a situation, there is crowding of people because they are then lifted from a place and kept to a higher ground or to a safer area when you have flooding or cyclone. And one has to be careful that one does this and keep maintaining social distancing and keep monitoring these individuals so that none of them develop symptoms and a cluster that should not develop out there. The second issue is that when you have the monsoons, a large number of vector-borne diseases also start occurring. And then we have diseases like malaria, dengue, chikungunya, and some of them have symptoms which can mimic COVID-19, that there will be fever, body aches, and some of the symptoms are similar as far as COVID-19 is concerned. And therefore, among physicians also, there is a big challenge that you should be able to differentiate between the two, have a high index of suspicion and test for both the vector-borne diseases and for COVID-19, and make sure that you are able to treat them so that there's no increase in the number of cases as far as dengue and chikungunya are concerned.
Right. Professor Raghavan, as we come towards the close of the discussion, I'm also trying to understand the concept of new normal. This phrase is coined quite frequently these days. If you talk about that, how prepared do you see India is? Just for example, if you talk about digital economy, the manner in which online education is taking place, we're preparing for a context in a circumstance where social distancing and prevention of the spread of virus can take place. How successful India has been on that front, Professor Raghavan?
Well, India has been extraordinarily successful using its IT infrastructure in two ways. First of all, the contact tracing app, Arogya Setu, has over 10 crores people downloaded it. And the feature phone version, the Geo version, has again something about 9 crores. So that's a huge amount. And that is not just an app for individuals and their contacts, but the back end of the app analyzes data from people who are positive, where they are positive, and uses that information to integrate with other information and feed that back into the community for decision making. So that's been absolutely extraordinary. Combined with telemedicine now, that's allowing, interestingly, medical help and assistance and regular consultation to reach every corner of India in a manner which was lumbering, even because of all sorts of resistances a few months ago. That's changed, the attitude has changed dramatically. And this is going to be a very positive impact. Education, courses, that's also having an enormous impact. Now, combined with that, we must, of course, have other parts of the economy which involve real work and real contact. And there, wearing masks and distancing should become also the new normal. Just as a moth is attracted towards the light, not wearing a mask is like asking a moth to be attracted towards you. And wearing a mask protects you. If we do that, if we keep social distancing, we will be able to, even as vaccines roll out, crunch the virus. That's something which everyone must adopt. And if people not wearing a mask, not being distancing, and cause a lot of problems.
So as the progress is made to tackle COVID-19, we can't let our guards be down. On that note, Professor Vijay Raghavan, Dr. Randeep Guleria, thanks very much for joining us in this discussion. Our best wishes to you for the research that is being done as far as vaccination is concerned, cure for COVID-19 is concerned. Thanks very much to both of you. Moving on, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Saturday visited a key forward post along the line of control in Khairan sector of Jammu and Kashmir. He was accompanied by Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, Army Chief General M.M. Naravane. He said, nation is extremely proud of the brave and courageous soldiers who are defending the country in every situation. Earlier in the day, Rajnath Singh visited the holy cave of Amarnath and offered prayers there. His trip to the cave shrine came on the second day of his visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on, political warfare continues in Rajasthan. BJP has accused the Gehlot government of illegal phone tapping and fired several questions at the Rajasthan government. The CM and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, in fact, they've called for a CBI probe. Former Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje, meanwhile, has launched a stinging attack on the Congress. She said people of Rajasthan are the real victims of the crisis in the ruling dispensation.
The political slugfest in Rajasthan rages on. BJP and Congress are busy trading charges. The BJP has termed the Congress charge of attempting to lure away its MLAs and bring down the Ashok Gehlot government as lies and fraud. The party has accused the Congress of hatching all conspiracies itself.
ये षड्यंत्र, झूठ, फरेब और किस प्रकार कानून को ताक में रख के काम किया जाता है, इन सभी का मिश्रण है। राजस्थान में कांग्रेस पार्टी में जो राजनीतिक परिदृश्य चल रहा है, जो नाटक खेला जा रहा है, एक मिश्रण है। पाप उन्हीं के घर में था, दाग उन्हीं के घर में था और ये सारा षड्यंत्र उन्हीं के घर में रचा जा रहा था। Conspiracy existed within the Congress party.
The BJP has accused the Gehlot government of illegal phone tapping and fired several questions at the Rajasthan government, the Chief Minister and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. The party is asked, was the phone tapping being carried out in Rajasthan and was it being carried out officially? Were phone tapping SOPs followed? Are members of all political parties being subjected to phone tapping? Isn't an undeclared emergency being imposed in Rajasthan? Hasn't the Congress made a mockery of the law in an effort to save its hanging by a thread state government by any means? The BJP has demanded a CBI probe into the entire illegal phone tapping episode.
भाजपा इस पूरे प्रकरण का सीबीआई द्वारा जांच की मांग करती है। क्या एसओपी फॉलो हुआ, फोन टेपिंग इत्यादि किया गया, क्या संविधान को ताक पे रखा गया?
The BJP's Rajasthan unit has also taken up the matter with the Rajasthan police on Saturday. It's lodged a case against Congress National Spokesperson Randeep Singh Surjewala, State Congress Chief Govind Singh Dotasra, Rajasthan Congress Whip Mahesh Joshi and Chief Minister's OSD Lokesh Sharma on the charge of besmirching the reputation of its leaders. The BJP also wants them charged of defamation and other crimes, but the Congress has denied all accusations.
यहाँ आकर के आपके सामने बताना चाहते हैं कि वो कांग्रेस पार्टी को, अशोक गहलोत जी की सरकार को स्थायित्व प्रदान करने के लिए 100% हम उनके साथ में हैं। किसी तरह का कोई भ्रम नहीं पाले, इसके लिए आपके समक्ष हम सब आए हैं।
Former Rajasthan Chief Minister and BJP leader Vasundhara Raje has also opened up a front against the Gehlot government. She said it's unfortunate that the people of Rajasthan are paying for the discord within the Congress at a time when COVID-19 has claimed more than 500 lives and positive cases are more than 28,000, at a time when locusts are attacking farmers' fields, at a time when crime against women is at an all-time high, at a time when there's a problem of electricity all across the state. There is no point in trying to drag the BJP and its leaders' names through the mud. It is the interest of the people that must remain paramount. Think of the people. BSP Chief Mayawati has also rained fire on Ashok Gehlot over the poaching of 6 BSP MLAs last year by the Congress in the state, saying Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra should recommend President's rule in the state. She said the governor must take cognizance of the political deadlock and instability prevailing in Rajasthan and should recommend imposition of President's rule in the state so that the condition of democracy in the state does not deteriorate. In addition, the matter related to issuance of disqualification notice by Rajasthan Speaker C.P. Joshi to Sachin Pilot and 18 other rebel MLAs is set to come up in the Rajasthan High Court on Monday. The court has ordered the Speaker to refrain from taking any action against these MLAs till 5 p.m. on Tuesday. With Bikramjit Singh in Jaipur Bureau, Newsnight Desk, DD India.
And a day after, a woman from Amethi and her daughter set themselves on fire outside Chief Minister's office in Lucknow, alleging inaction in a land dispute case. Lucknow police has said prima facie it appears that the incident was part of a conspiracy. The women were instigated by Congress leader Anup Patel to set themselves on fire.
11 IPC and 7 Criminal Amendment Act के अंतर्गत इन लोगों के खिलाफ मुकदमा कायम किया गया है। इसमें आसमा की गिरफ्तारी कर ली गई है। अमेठी पुलिस और लखनऊ से भेजी गई टीम के द्वारा अमेठी में MIM के डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रेसिडेंट जो बताए गए हैं कदीर खान, इनकी गिरफ्तारी कर ली गई है AIMIM के, और इनको लखनऊ लाया जा रहा है। हम इनको फिर पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड पर मिलेंगे और अधिक जानकारी प्राप्त करेंगे।
Addressing the media, Lucknow Police Commissioner Sujit Kumar Pandey said 4 cops, including sub-inspector posted with Hazratganj Police Station, have been suspended and the matter is being probed by Additional Superintendent of Police.
SI विजय कुमार हैं, हेड कांस्टेबल इंद्रजीत हैं, महिला कांस्टेबल वंदना हैं और महिला कांस्टेबल जशोदा हैं। इन चारों को निलंबित कर दिया गया है DCP सेंट्रल के द्वारा और इस पूरी विवेचना को बहुत क्लोजली मॉनिटर किया जा रहा है, जिसकी मॉनिटरिंग DCP सेंट्रल और ज्वाइंट CPLO ये दोनों लोग करेंगे और हम इंश्योर करेंगे कि एक एक एविडेंस इसका हम गैदर करें। यह इंश्योर करेंगे कि जितने भी लोग इस तरह के गलत हरकत में, घटिया काम में इनको डिस्क्रेडिट करने के लिए भागीदार हैं, उन सबके खिलाफ कार्रवाई हो।
Some floods-related update now. The flood situation in Assam remains grim as over 3,000 villages in 28 districts are still submerged. Over 100 people have lost their life due to floods and landslides so far, while around 36 lakh people have been affected as a whole across the state. The flood situation in Bihar too is serious, with rivers in the state overflowing. Floodwaters have spread over various other parts of the state. Over 2,88,000 people living in 8 districts are badly affected due to floods. Here's an update.
Monsoon is active in many states of India, but the flood situation continues to be grim in Bihar and Assam. Many rivers in these two states are in spate and lakhs have been displaced. Flood situation remains grim in Bihar. With more rainfall, the flood waters have inundated new areas. More than 2.88 lakh people in 8 districts are affected. In many areas, the river levels have also receded, and the administration has initiated work to launch community kitchens in many districts. In Assam, more than 3,000 villages in 26 districts are inundated. The floods have claimed 79 lives till now, and over 27 lakh people across the state have been affected. Dhubri remains the worst affected district in Assam. Amidst the grim situation, there has been some good news too. Forest officials at the Kaziranga National Park have rescued a 2-year-old tigress. After undergoing a thorough medical checkup, the tigress was reunited with the streak. With inputs from Guwahati and Patna Bureau, Newsnight Desk, DD India.
We now get a wrap of news from across the country in the segment National Wrap.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Amshipora village of Shopian district on Saturday. The encounter broke out after a joint team of Shopian police, Army's 62 Rashtriya Rifles and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation following a specific input about the presence of terrorists in the village. A team of the National Investigation Agency on Saturday took Swapna Suresh and Sandeep Nair, accused in the Kerala gold smuggling case, to various locations in Thiruvananthapuram for evidence collection, including their residences. Meanwhile, the NIA has also requested Interpol to issue a blue corner notice against Faisal Fareed, another accused in the high-profile case. In Bihar, 3 people died in a car after it was hit by Patna-Ranchi Jan Shatabdi special train while illegally crossing the railway tracks. The accident happened between Potahi and Nadwan, about 20 kilometers south of Patna. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu paid his respects and tributes to the erstwhile Maharaja of Mysore. He was addressing through virtual mode the concluding ceremony of the birth centenary celebrations of late Jai Chamraj Wadiyar, the Maharaja of erstwhile Mysore Kingdom. The Vice President said that Maharaja Chamraj Wadiyar had established a responsible government in the Mysore state by setting up the Constituent Assembly and an interim popular government with K.C. Reddy as Chief Minister. Serine, a quaint village at an altitude of 2,000 feet nestled in the greens of Arunachal Pradesh, has all reasons to rejoice. The distance between Serine village and its nearest Pakka road is 22 kilometers. The village is inhabited by Nishi tribe with a total population of 130. Arunachal Pradesh government has decided to provide 100% tapped water connections to all the households in the state by 2023 under Jal Jeevan Mission, the flagship program of the government.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday condoled the death of eminent mathematician C.S. Seshadri. Seshadri died in Chennai on Friday. He was 88 years old. Prime Minister tweeted and said, "In the passing away of Professor C.S. Seshadri, we have lost an intellectual stalwart who did outstanding work in mathematics. His efforts, especially in algebraic geometry, will be remembered for generations. Condolences to his family and admirers. Om Shanti." And Union Home Minister Amit Shah to condole the demise of Professor Seshadri. In a tweet message, Home Minister said, "Pained to learn about the demise of towering figure in mathematical horizon, Professor Shri C.S. Seshadri ji, he will always be remembered for his unparalleled contribution in the field of algebraic geometry. My thoughts with his family and followers." Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirath Kshetra Trust has finalized the schedule for construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya and Bhumi Pujan. Talking to media after the meeting, Secretary of the Trust, Champat Rai, said it will take almost 3 to 3.5 years to complete the construction of the Ram Temple.
परिस्थितियां सामान्य होंगी तब हम 10 करोड़ लोगों के सहयोग से इस मंदिर का निर्माण करेंगे। आम सहमति बनी है। जिस दिन से शुरू हो जाएगा, धन संग्रह हमारे हाथ में आ जाएगा, तो हम ये काम 3 वर्ष में पूरा कर लेंगे।
Some news from across the world. A major fire broke out in the cathedral in western French city of Nantes on Saturday, blowing out stained glasses, windows and destroying the grand organ of the 15th century building. Dozens of firefighters brought the fire under control after several hours of work. Fire officials said the fire had broken out behind the grand organ, which was completely destroyed. Blaze comes just over a year after a major fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris that destroyed its roof and the main spire. European Council President Charles Michel offered a revised plan for EU's proposed Economic Recovery Fund on Saturday to break a deadlock between the bloc's 27 leaders on the second day of the summit in Brussels. According to a document, diplomats and officials to assuage concerns by the northern camp of thrifty EU countries led by Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. The share of free grants in the proposed €750 billion recovery fund would be reduced to €450 billion from €500 billion. Parts of China battled the damage caused by worst flood to hit in decades on Saturday as the levee was repaired and more people were rescued. Some provinces were declared in red alert as heavy rain swelled rivers and lakes, flooding towns. According to state media, one of the 3 dams in Poyang Lake in Jiangxi province burst due to heavy torrential rain and accumulative flood water. Water gushed out from the dam, affecting more than 8,000 people. And U.S. Representative John Lewis, a pioneer of civil rights movement and longtime member of the U.S. House of Representatives, is no more. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Saturday Lewis, a congressman from Atlanta who had announced in December that he had advanced pancreatic cancer, was 80 years old. He kept up the fight for civil rights until the end of his life. He made his last public appearance in June as protests for racial justice swept the United States and the world. And Queen Elizabeth knighted Captain Tom Moore, recognizing 100-year-old for lifting Britain's spirits during the gloom of the coronavirus pandemic by raising millions of pounds for health workers. The World War II veteran raised a record £33 million by walking some 100 laps of his garden with the aid of a walking frame in April in the run-up to his landmark birthday. At an open-air investiture at Windsor Castle, 94-year-old Queen smiled as she dabbed Moore on both shoulders and knighting sword, which previously belonged to her father, George VI. And with that, we conclude this edition of Newsnight. Take good care of yourself. Namaskar.
नमस्कार, न्यूज नाइट में आप सबका स्वागत है। आपके साथ मैं हूं ममता चोपड़ा। आज न्यूज नाइट में बात करेंगे कि किस तरीके से कोविड-19 के खिलाफ जंग में वैक्सीन बनाने की कोशिश दुनिया भर में जारी है और इसके तहत हमारे अपने देश में निर्मित वैक्सीन का भी इंतजार सबको है, जिसको लेकर अब ह्यूमन ट्रायल्स यानी मानव परीक्षण भी शुरू हो चुके हैं। तो किस तरीके से बढ़ रहा है आगे ये मानव परीक्षण और किस तरीके से कोविड के खिलाफ जंग में भारत भी लगातार स्वस्थ होने वालों के आंकड़े को आगे बढ़ा रहा है, करेंगे इस सब पर चर्चा। लेकिन साथ ही साथ बताएंगे आपको राजस्थान के सियासी घमासान के बारे में और दिन भर की सभी बड़ी खबरें समेटकर हम हाजिर हैं। आइए शुरुआत करते हैं हेडलाइंस के साथ। कोविड-19 के खिलाफ जंग अब निर्णायक दौर में। स्वदेशी कोरोना वैक्सीन का ह्यूमन ट्रायल शुरू। इंसानों पर शुरुआती ट्रायल में कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं, 2 चरणों में होगा ह्यूमन ट्रायल। स्वास्थ्य मंत्री ने कहा जल्द ही इस महामारी पर प्राप्त कर लेंगे पूरी तरह जीत। कोरोना का संक्रमण रोकने के लिए राज्यों के कड़े कदम। तिरुवनंतपुरम के तटीय क्षेत्रों में संक्रमण के प्रसार को देखते हुए शहर के तटीय क्षेत्रों में शनिवार आधी रात से 10 दिन के लॉकडाउन का ऐलान। यूपी में वीकेंड लॉकडाउन जारी। कोरोना की स्थिति की समीक्षा के लिए बिहार का दौरा करेगी केंद्रीय टीम। देश में कोविड-19 का रिकवरी रेट करीब 63%। राजस्थान के सियासी प्रकरण में फोन टैपिंग का मामला उछला। भाजपा ने की सीबीआई जांच की मांग। राज्य सरकार से पूछा कि क्या फोन टैपिंग स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेसर को अपनाया। राहुल गांधी और गहलोत सरकार से मांगे सवालों के जवाब। राजस्थान बीजेपी ने कांग्रेस के कई नेताओं और गहलोत के ओएसडी के खिलाफ दर्ज कराया मानहानि का मामला। बीएसपी प्रमुख मायावती ने भी गहलोत सरकार पर लगाया दल बदल कानून के उल्लंघन का आरोप। कहा, फोन टैप करा के किया एक और गैर कानूनी असंवैधानिक काम। राज्य में राष्ट्रपति शासन की मांग। जम्मू कश्मीर दौरे पर रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह ने कुपवाड़ा में एलओसी के पास एक अग्रिम चौकी का किया दौरा, सैनिकों से की बातचीत। सुबह रक्षा मंत्री ने अमरनाथ में किए बाबा बर्फानी के दर्शन। सीडीएस जनरल बिपिन रावत और सेना प्रमुख जनरल नरवणे भी रहे साथ। जम्मू कश्मीर में आतंकवाद के खिलाफ सुरक्षा बलों का अभियान जारी। शोपियां में मारे गए 3 आतंकवादी।